So what do spoons and forks have to do with mind over matter? And what does mind over matter even mean? And why should you care about it?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, but it seems quite difficult for me to understand the power of your mind. So just let's set the rule. If you can imagine it, you can do it.
Right? And if you can't imagine it, you can't do it.
You're stuck in your own prison. So we need to break through our paradigms of what we believe is possible or not possible. As a holistic doctor, I've been treating patients, and we have often had miracles happen in you. As a psychologist, same, right?
That's right. So these, what we call miracles, are simply events that we cannot explain with our conscious mind. Mm-hmm. So I think starting out by defining all those different parts of our minds could be helpful. So we have the conscious mind, that with which we consciously think. That's the part that we're aware of, right? And then we have that huge part of our mind that is the unconscious mind. And unconscious means that we are not aware of it. That means that the much larger part of our mind, some say it's over 80% of our mind, we are not aware of. And that actually is running the show. So it pays off to pay attention to our unconscious mind and become aware of the fact, the truth, that that guy or that mistress inside of us, that 80% is actually running the show. So.
And even to take it even further, just imagine that we have free will, but that your free will is controlled by the unconscious part. So the choices that you make are maybe not the choices that you would make if you were not controlled by your unconscious mind.
Or if you were aware of the consequences that all these thoughts and choices have on your life. So I think part of why we're so successful in the coaching department of our lives, of helping our clients succeed, is because we work on that unconscious part, and we look at all the thought forms and habits and decisions that we as people make to create this reality that we are facing right now. And part of that coaching, that strategic part of coaching, is to get the client to acknowledge the fact that the reality that they are facing right now is because of the conscious and unconscious choices made in the past. And that's the first step we need to take to claim responsibility as creators of our lives, isn't it? We have to acknowledge that, yeah, I own that, whether I was conscious of it or not, but all those decisions that I made, they have led me to where I am right now. And that's, I feel, sometimes the first hurdle that many can get stuck on.
Absolutely. And then once you decide consciously what you want, you're still not out of it.
You're not there yet.
Because just imagine, if you say, I want to lose weight. Right, okay, consciously you want to lose weight, but does your unconscious agree with that? If it doesn't, it will sabotage you, it will hold you back, it will find excuses, it will give you reasons why, it's so difficult to lose weight, and on and on and on.
It's not even worth it, right? Why go through the hassle? It's so much discomfort. So I think it's also when we hit that acknowledgement that whatever we're going to do different now might create a feeling of discomfort in us. Because we're venturing into our discomfort zone, out of our comfort zone. We're going to do something different. And that different can create so much drama in our unconscious mind, because our unconscious mind loves safety. It loves doing things the same way we've always done it, because we don't have to think about it. And then if we say, no, we're creating change, we want to do something different, our unconscious mind will throw a tantrum and go into a rebellious state. And that's that moment when we want to take control. Take control consciously and say, okay, I hear you. I feel you. Yes, this is going to get a little uncomfortable for a while. And how about relaxing into that discomfort and making it a power inside of you that takes you forward, so that you can then take those steps and go to the gym, or say no to the donut, or take a few deep breaths and nurture yourself and, change that habitual way of doing things.
Yeah, if I look back at my martial arts career as a fighter and being in competition all the time, Yes, of course. The biggest moment of breakthroughs is when you pass through a paradigm, when you think it's impossible. I don't have the energy anymore. I don't think I can go on. This guy is stronger than me and faster than me. The moment you stop looking at what you cannot, and then just ask yourself, what if I can? What if I can win? What if there's more in me? What if I can tap into other resources that I don't know yet? So what I've learned in martial arts is to push myself out of that status quo of what I thought was possible.
You enjoy going into outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And so you need to make that joyful. And that's how I became a world champion, just by keep on moving out of the comfort zone of what's possible. So instead of believing your beliefs, you can ask yourself, what if what I imagine is possible? And then go there. And once you go there, you are entering the field of possibilities.
That's right. And what would I need to believe is true so I can make that happen?
Absolutely.
Would I need to believe that I am more than strong enough, that I am more than fast enough, more than beautiful enough, more than worthy enough, all that? And that's, you see, where we get into those belief structures and we start looking on all the areas of our lives, because we might be super successful in one area, right? We might be a world champion in something, but we suck at something else. So
trust me.
Well, we're all of us, right?
Yeah.
So it's also part of that, looking at your blind spots, those parts that you were maybe not aware of or didn't want to look at, and say, hey, what if I could have that same amount of success that I am experiencing in other areas of my life in that one area that is actually the big pain point, whatever that is. And in Mind Over Matter, in all our teachings and all our approach towards creating change, it really is learning how to harness the power of the mind, because the mind is such an important part of this manifestation process that we like teaching. So when we talk about quantum manifestation, we're talking about manifestation that happens not through hard work, through struggle and deprivation. It's the opposite. It's how do I attract rather than chase? How do I manifest my heart's desires with as much grace, ease, and joy as I can? So in the Power of the Heart, the event that we taught, I think it's a month ago now, right? We dove into those heart's desires. How can we unblock our heart? How can we forgive? How can we release past pain? And how can we open our hearts up again? And that was part one of the journey. And now we're moving on into part two of the journey, and that is mind over matter. So can you give us some examples of your career as a doctor, your life, of where were these moments where you noticed, that was a mind over matter moment?
Right. First of all, I've learned a lot from my patients, because one of the things that we now know, it is not what you believe that matters, even though it impacts what's possible. It is knowing the laws of what's possible. So, for example, we know as medical doctors that a person can heal from a bone fracture, normally between 4 and 6 weeks. That's normal. But the moment we apply our mind, the moment we go beyond normal, we say, okay, I'm visualizing now that my bones are healing faster, then we can cut down the time for example, to 3 days. One of the example is, for example, for myself, after seeing what's possible with my patients. You see, I have two groups of patients. One come in with negative beliefs of what's possible. Another group comes in and believe in alternative medicine, and they hope that this will be the answer for them. And those people have a bigger chance of healing than those that come in and like, maybe you can help me. So it's already making this. So I learned so much from my patient, and I started applying these things to myself. So when I broke 3 ribs, then I started visualizing, and after 3 days, the pain was gone. So, and then again, in this case, I only focus on the pain. So that night when I slept on my ribs, the pain came back because I didn't focus on the healing of the bones. So the next round, I focused on the healing of the bones, and 3 days later, the bones were healed and I could sleep on it. So within a week,
you had proof,
yeah,
by getting an X-ray and
absolutely,
seeing it was
absolutely,
healed. And isn't it true that proof is so empowering? When you how did you feel when you got that proof from the doctor saying, yeah, your ribs are healed? I don't know how you did it, but they're healed. What did you
Absolutely.
feel?
No, I mean, that's totally exhilaration. You're so excited. And, but then you also know what is confirmed in you is that you knew it was possible and now it's confirmed.
Okay.
And that gives you, again, the space to create more miracles in your life. Because if you know this is possible, the big question is what else is possible? And so when we break to a paradigm, we're opening up more space for believing new things. And the more we know about the laws of the universe, that miracles are possible, but they're not possible when we believe what we believe. We need to open our minds to believe the impossible is possible. And then we are free to create miracles in our life. And yeah, we have, from patients-wise, we have thousands of examples, people curing from cancer, arthritis, degeneration, allergies, on and on and on. All of that is possible. So when a doctor tells you you have a certain prognosis, which means he tells you, oh, you have to live with this, or, this is going to cause you to die, that is the prognosis. And that is the belief of the doctor. The moment you open yourself, there's more possible. What do I want to believe is possible? Then you are now connected to the laws of the universe, because there it's more possible than what we believe as human beings. I think that's the power in healing, but we also have the same thing in other areas of our lives.
That's right. So mind over matter is about more than just bending spoons. And I promised you in the intro, how does this connect to mind over matter? So what we decided we want to do is we want to have an event where everybody can join in learning how to power up their mind and harness that power, learn how to focus the energy of their mind to create tangible proof.
Mm-hmm.
And what better proof than taking something made out of steel that's really hard, right? And being able to bend this spoon with the power of the mind and not force. Because with force, I can tell you, I cannot do this. This will not bend. And I know that after the 2 or 3 days in Rotterdam, I don't know which day I'm going to be able to do it. I'm leaving that open to the universe. But I'm trusting that Mary Delano Otis, who has taught this to so many people,
hundreds of people,
whether they were 3 years old or 93 years old, that I'm trusting her when she says everybody so far, everybody has been able to do it. So I'm super excited because it gives us tangible proof. And nothing is more empowering than having tangible proof for something that you did, your power did. And I'm, excited what forks too, because I've heard that the forks can curl like this. So, that each prong can curl. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, we have really had to do research to find her. She has 100% result with everybody she ever taught to bend spoons. And we've been doing miracles in our own lives. So we're ready for the next miracle to really understand how that's possible and to understand the other laws of quantum where you can influence matter. And some of you may have seen the Matrix movie where you get the red or the blue pill. So coming to mind over matter is literally choosing for the red pill.
I like that.
Right? To really go way beyond what you think is possible. And most people choose for the blue pill and stay in their comfort zone.
But not if you're watching this. If you've watched this so far, you're feeling resonance, right? So you're maybe already starting to ponder on what else would be possible. What if I could do that? Couldn't I then use that energy for healing? Couldn't I use it for all kinds of manifestations?
Attracting up the life that you desire.
Right? Because we know that you are worth it. And we know you deserve it. And we know you can do it. The only person you need to convince is you. Right. And that's what I love about harnessing the power of our mind, is using this supercomputer, right, for actual good in our life. How about creating more of what we really want? How about doing more of what we love? Wouldn't we all be happier and healthier and nicer? And it's kind of our way of creating peace, because we know that everybody who is willing to invest in themselves and create peace and power within themselves will automatically, as humankind, go out and share that. And if we all do that, we can create these ripples of joy and health and elevated beings. And I think we all deserve that. Global
Absolutely.
peace.
Yes, and we all can make a contribution because we're not helpless, we're not powerless. And the more people get activated, the more people open their hearts, the more people use their minds in a new way, the more we can influence this planet and guide it to where it should be. Because it is too crazy that we as intelligent beings are still shooting each other and throwing bombs at each other. That's, I mean, what we're talking
Every
about.
kindergarten child knows better, right?
And that we're still afraid of viruses, while our mind is much more powerful than any virus on this planet. And we know that. But if you believe what they tell you to believe, if you believe that you're weak, if you believe you're powerless, you believe you're alone, you can't do it by yourself, that is true too. So we have to choose red pill, blue pill. It's up to you.
Thank you so much for being part of our gathering.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to connecting again with you soon. Join us on the Joy Tribe on Facebook. We're always there. We're happy to answer your questions. And thank you for being our friend.
And see you.
Yay!